Now let's talk about the distributive property. Sometimes when we're trying to simplify an expression, we run into a situation where the expression inside of the parentheses contains terms that are not alike. Whenever that happens, we still need a way to get rid of those parentheses. The way we do that is using something that we call the distributive property. So as you can see, the distributive property is a tool or a process to get rid of parentheses when unlike terms are within them. Please be careful, we do not use the distributive property if we can combine the terms inside the parentheses. Here's going to be your definition of the distributive property, your math definition. For any real number, if you're trying to add b and c, which are not like terms because they're not the same variable, we can use multiplication with the distributive property where we take that a and we multiply it n times the b and n times the c, giving us a times b, the plus sign comes over, a times c. It works the same way if the a is being multiplied behind the parentheses. It still distributes into the b, distributes into the c with multiplication, giving us a times b plus a times c. Looking at 4 examples here, what we're going to do, we're going to distribute if necessary and combine like terms. So in example 1, the first thing I ask myself is, using order of operations and looking at the parentheses, can 5x and 3 be combined? And I say no, so I have to distribute my 2 in, giving me 10x plus 6. Since 10x and 6 are not like terms, that's my final answer. So just like with combining like terms in the video you watched before, I have to be comfortable with getting an answer that is not a number but an expression. I do not have an equal sign, so I cannot get 10x by itself. In example 2, I'm going to go through the same process. I'm first going to check if my parentheses contain something that can be combined. 3x minus 7, not like terms. 4 plus negative 6 is a like term. So I have to distribute the negative 8, but I'm not going to distribute the minus 3. I'm going to combine 4 and negative 6, giving me, when I distribute, negative 8 times 3 is negative 24x. Negative 8, again, the sign belongs to the number it's in front of, so negative 8 times negative 7 gives me a positive 56. I'm going to drop the negative 3 down, and since negative 3 was right next to the parentheses, it was multiplying, so I'm still going to multiply, but I'm going to multiply 4 plus negative 6 is negative 2, so I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. Again, I did not distribute there because I could combine what was in my parentheses. And a distributive property is what you use when you have unlike terms in a parentheses. From here I can multiply this out. Again, I'm just following that order of operations. That becomes plus 6, and 56 and 6 are like terms, so that minus 24x just keeps dropping down. 56 and 6 are going to combine to give me 62. I no longer have any like terms, so I stop here. Looking at example 3. If you feel comfortable with examples 1 and 2, I would strongly suggest you give example 3 a try. If not, watch as I go through example 3 and then give example 4 a try. In example 3, the first thing I check are my parenthesis sets, not like terms, so I will distribute the 2. However, negative 3 and negative 5 are like terms. They can be combined, so I am going to change that to a negative 8, and I will not distribute in that second set. Sign belongs to the number, so I will distribute a minus 2. The 4 drops down. Minus 2 times 4 is minus 8. Minus 2 times 9 is minus 18x. Again, I'm not distributing that minus 2 because I'm going to go ahead and say that minus 3 times minus 5 is minus 8. And then 2 was right next to this parentheses set showing multiplication, so I still have multiplication here. Doing that multiplication based on my order of operations gives me plus 8, and then combining like terms. I'm sorry, that does not give me a plus 8. I lost my 2. I'm going to erase that. Well, it won't let me erase it. I'm going to scribble that out. And negative 2 times negative 8 gives me a plus 16, not a plus 8. Now combining my like terms, I have 4 subtract 8 is negative 4, plus 16 is going to give me 12. And my minus 18x has no like terms, so it drops down. Looking at one final example, again, if you haven't tried one on your own yet, please try this one on your own. Even if you did try example 3 on your own, I would still suggest trying example 4 on your own. Now that you've had a chance to try it, I'm going to go ahead and show you how it should be worked. I check my parentheses, not like terms, not like terms. So the only thing that's in front of this parentheses that is a subtract sign. So I'm going to distribute the minus sign in, and I'm going to distribute the plus sign in. So my 13x drops down. When I distribute my minus in, minus times 5x is minus 5x. Minus times 7 is minus 7. Distributing my plus sign in, positive times 6 is positive 6x. Positive times minus 4 is minus 4. So before I combine like terms, I want to point out that distributing a minus sign changes the sign within my parentheses. However, distributing a positive, notice, does not change my signs, mainly because whenever I multiply something by a positive 1, because technically there's a 1 in here, my value is the exact same value. 1 times anything is itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. 13x minus 5x plus 6x. 13 minus 5 is 8, plus 6 is 14x. And minus 7 and minus 4 is negative 11. And there's my final answer. So big thing, distributive property is when you cannot combine things inside of your parentheses, so always check to make sure that you can't combine them first. Distribute and combine like terms. Any questions you have, please bring them with you to class.